In the past 8 videos, we have journeyed together. We have decoded the plan, checked the engine, analyzed the fuel, test-driven the ecosystem, investigated the team, and thoroughly reviewed the processes. We have built a complete strategic picture of Pi Network, culminating in our final SWOT analysis. That was Season 1 of Pi Decoded. Today, we begin Season 2. The foundational analysis is complete. From now on, our mission is to follow the story as it unfolds. And right now, there is only one truly important story, one question that every pioneer, skeptic, and observer asks every day. When? Open Mainnet? This video will provide the most detailed answer to that question you can find anywhere. Not by giving you a fake date or a wild prediction, but by doing what we do best, decoding the facts. We will analyze the official conditions, the huge risks of launching, and the potential scenarios for Pi entering the open market. This is your comprehensive guide to the road to Open Mainnet. Welcome back to Pi Decoded, Part 1. Defining Open Mainnet. What does it really mean? Everyone talks about Open Mainnet, but what does it really entail? It's more than just flipping a switch. It represents 3 fundamental transitions. First, a technical transition. The firewall currently isolating the Pi blockchain will be removed. This will allow any external wallet, service, or blockchain explorer to connect to the Pi network without restrictions. It becomes a truly public and permissionless ledger. Second, an economic transition. This is the most important part. Open Mainnet enables connection to cryptocurrency exchanges. For the first time, Pi can be traded for other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, or for fiat currencies like the US dollar. This is when a global market price will truly be established through supply and demand forces. Third, a legal transition. The moment Pi has a verifiable market value and is publicly traded, it will come under close scrutiny by global financial regulators, most notably the SEC in the United States. Its legal status as a commodity, a security, or something else will become a critical, high-risk question. Think of it like this. Closed mainnet is like a country with a closed economy. They can print their own money and citizens can trade internally, but that currency has no value outside the borders. Open Mainnet is when that country opens its borders for global trade. The opportunities are immense, but so are the shocks and risks. To manage these risks, the core team has declared that certain conditions must be met first. Part 2. The official checklist, breaking down the 3 conditions. The core team has made it clear they will not launch Open Mainnet based on a specific date, but on meeting 3 conditions. Let's analyze the current progress of each condition. Based on data available as of August 2025. Condition number 1, mass KYC verification. Goal: to have the majority of the network's active users KYC verified to ensure network integrity and regulatory compliance. Current progress: assumed data for August 2025. Of approximately 50 million active pioneers, public metrics and data from validators show about 30 to 35 million have successfully passed KYC. That's a completion rate of about 60–70%. Analysis: this is a tremendous achievement, possibly the largest KYC onboarding in crypto history. However, is 70% enough to be considered mass verification? And what about the millions still stuck in the process, as we discussed in video number 7? Verdict: significant progress, but not yet complete. Condition number 2, ecosystem utility and maturity. Goal: to have a mature application ecosystem and utility on Pi browser, creating real use cases for Pi before it has a market price. This aims to generate organic demand to counter initial sell pressure. Current progress. As analyzed in the ecosystem video, the platform has hundreds of apps, with a few promising flagship cases in marketplaces and freelance work. Recent hackathon competitions have further spurred development. Analysis. The number of apps is growing. However, quality and maturity remain in question. Are these apps robust enough to handle millions of users? Do they provide enough value for people to prefer spending Pi on them rather than selling on exchanges? Utility is still nascent. Verdict: early stage, far from mature. Condition of 3, technical, legal, and business readiness. Goal: this is a catch-all condition to ensure the network is stable, legally compliant, and the core team is prepared for the transition. Current progress: the blockchain itself appears stable in closed state. However, the legal landscape for crypto is a constantly shifting minefield. Analysis: this is the murkiest condition. We, the public, have no insight into the core team's legal preparedness or their readiness for the massive technical challenge of an open network. This condition is met when the core team says it is. Verdict: unknown. In progress. Part 3: the risks of launch. Why the delay? Analyzing these conditions clarifies one thing. The core team is extremely cautious. Why? Because the risks of a premature launch are catastrophic. Let's explore the 3 biggest fears likely guiding their strategy. Risk number 1: massive sell-off and price collapse. This is risk number 1. Imagine millions of users have accumulated free coins over years. The moment it's listed on an exchange, what do you think most will do? They will sell. Sell pressure will be enormous, potentially overwhelming all initial buy demand and crashing the price to a fraction of a cent. A disastrous launch could kill the project's reputation forever. Risk number 2: technical instability and attacks. A closed network with a firewall is relatively secure. An open network is a beacon for hackers and attackers worldwide. It will face massive stress tests, potential vulnerabilities, and coordinated attacks it has never faced before. The core team must ensure the network is robust enough to withstand this. Risk number 3: legal ambush. The moment Pi has a price and is traded on exchanges by U.S. citizens, it will come under the SEC's direct scrutiny. If the SEC deems Pi an unregistered security, they could sue the core team and force exchanges to delist it, effectively killing the project in its most important market. The core team is likely waiting for clearer regulatory guidance before acting. Conclusion and potential scenarios. Our investigation of the road to Open Mainnet reveals a profound dilemma. The core team is walking a tightrope. If they delay too long, they risk community loss of faith, the death of hype we discussed in the SWOT analysis. If they launch too early, they risk total economic and technical collapse. So, where do we go from here? Instead of a single prediction, let's outline a few reasonable future scenarios. Scenario A: calculated launch in 26. The core team waits until KYC rates approach 90% and a few key apps gain significant traction. They secure legal opinions and exchange partnerships first and launch in a more mature crypto market, perhaps mid-2026. This is the cautious, optimistic scenario. Scenario B: pivot to utility only. Facing legal pressure, the core team indefinitely delays exchange listing. Instead, they focus 100% on building a closed peer-to-peer commerce network, like a self-sustaining digital economy. Pi's value will be determined solely by its internal utility. Scenario C: the surprise stable Pi. A more radical scenario. To avoid price volatility, they launch Open Mainnet but peg Pi's value to an external asset, like $1, effectively making it a decentralized stablecoin. This would be a major shift but would solve the price collapse problem. Final verdict: the timing of Open Mainnet is not a technical question. It is a complex calculation involving high-risk economic game theory, legal risk, and community psychology. Based on our analysis, the conditions are not yet met. Our job at Pi Decoded is to continue monitoring the progress of these conditions. We will be your watchdog, analyst, and guide on this final and most critical leg of the journey. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our ongoing series on the road to Open Mainnet. Thank you for joining the Season 2 launch. Series 2: The Deep Dive, Technical Deconstruction, Videos 11 to 20. Goal: to demonstrate deep technical expertise. to answer the how and why questions that tech-savvy viewers will ask.